Welcome back to another episode of Risk Check Podcast. The dynamic duo is back together again. And today we have another dynamic duo of sorts, some very special guests. Allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Perry.
And I'm Rashad.
And this is the Risk Check Podcast. Tonight, we have some entrepreneurial gentlemen, some people whom we've been watching for a while now and gotten to see their ascent into the media space, but also the financial literary space. Coming off the heels of a very successful festival that they throw annually, InvestFest. Shout out to Rashad and Troy from Earn Your Leisure.
Yes, sir.
What's up? What's going on?
Glad to finally have you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Happy to be here, man. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. This is amazing. I remember first coming across you guys' content during COVID. Everyone was kind of in the house, discretionary income, trying to figure out what to do with it. Some people bought watches, others invested. Some people did both. But tonight we want to get into your story, sort of like how you guys met, founding the brand, your point of views and perspectives on watch collecting, and really celebrate the success that you two have had. But before we get into that, we have an honorary tradition. We kick things off with a wrist check. As is tradition, we start with the man who's sitting across from me, Mr. Rashad Smith. What's on the wrist?
So I'm wearing a very special timepiece, as they all are. This is my Date Just Vignette Dial 36 millimeter.
Don't hurt him.
This watch I enjoy to wear when I want to shine.
Okay.
And, you know, sitting down with the biggest financial flexes, there's nothing else but to do but wear this watch here. 36 millimeter, I enjoy. It's the gentleman's size. Some people say it's for women, but I really think it's for
classic.
Very classic. And I think it's for somebody that, you know, obviously understands what they're doing, being very intentional in the decisions that you're making. So I just had to go with this one.
Respect. We'll save our guest for last. I'll go next. I got a new watch on the wrist.
Woo.
Parmigiani Fleurier.
Yes, sir.
The Tauric Petit Second.
Yes.
My French is correct. This is limited to 50 pieces, the new platinum edition, with what they're calling the golden hour dial. It's actually a white gold dial, and then they've got it like sort of hand grained and then colored. This thing is pretty tight. I got it this morning. Shout out to our friends at Parmigiani. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this weekend.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Troy and Rashad, what do you guys got? I see some heat on the wrist. I mean, it's very, very heavy on the couch right now.
I feel like I should speak some type of French when I announce it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Sky Dweller Gold on Gold.
Respect.
I'm a big Sky Dweller fan. I like the intricacies of it. It's very complex. So I collect Sky Dwellers. I really like them. So this is like number 2 of 5.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the gold on gold is just a classic touch. So I was like, look, what can I have on an everyday? Right. There was one that I got on my birthday, which was just like, I'm like, this is the watch. Like, I love this watch. I have a few other pieces we'll talk about later, but like this one I wear every day, man. So yeah, gold on gold, classic.
That's Rolex's most complicated piece in their catalog.
Yes.
Indeed.
It's an annual calendar and a GMT.
Yep.
Right? You operate it through the bezel. That thing is sick.
Yeah. You got to rotate that bezel. You got to. If
Respect.
you know, you know.
Yeah.
You know. Rashad, you got a heavyweight on the wrist. This is also a complicated piece from my favorite brand,
AP?
AP.
Yeah, we got the AP Royal Oak. It's still, I just like the look of an AP. I like the look of APs better than Rolex. Like, as far as like the octagon face of it, it catches your eye.
It does.
So I just always like the AP, and it's hard to get APs.
It sure is now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the AP is, I only have one AP. Like I said, I got a lot of Rolexes, but I only have one AP. It's much harder to get an AP than it is a Rolex.
For sure.
Even though the cost a lot of times is lower than the Rolex, but
not after these tariffs.
Yeah, but I just like the look of it, honestly. The AP, like I said, I like the face. I just feel like it kind of just stands out.
It does, yeah. The beautiful thing about AP, particularly the Royal Oak, is that the gentleman that actually designed it wasn't a watchmaker.
No.
He was a designer. So I think coming from that angle is really on target, just because it's an easy watch to appreciate from a design perspective. When you look at everything, what's going on with that piece, how it plays with light, it really does shine, even in stainless steel.
Yeah.
It's a solid piece.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, gentlemen, we have you today with us. Earn Your Leisure is an incredible platform. You guys have built an amazing brand, not only as a brand, but also as a repository for information. I think just the catalog that you guys have like built over the last few years is just a huge database for people to go back into and just figure out where do they start in terms of their financial journey, right? You've had so many great guests on, but I'm curious, because I don't know this part of the story. How did you guys actually meet?
Yeah, we met. I was in middle school. He was in 6th grade, and this guy in our neighborhood, rest in peace, Mr. Lopez, was huge into basketball. So like, if you were good in basketball, he would bring all the young guys together, and they were shooting this movie, Whoopi Goldberg's movie, Eddie.
Oh, I remember Eddie. Yeah. When she was a Knicks
They
coach.
needed some extras, exactly.
Yeah.
They needed some extras, and so most of the guys in the middle school I knew were like, yo, we're doing this. He wasn't in the school yet, but he came up to drive with us, and everybody kind of knew who he was because they had known him from years prior. I didn't know who he was. The crazy part is I had seen him before, but I didn't know we lived in the same complex. And all my friends were like friends with him. So I was like, all right, well, I'm friends with him too now. Right? Like,
That's how it goes.
like, yo, this is it. Like, if he's cool with y'all, then he's cool with me. And from that moment on, it's just been like, we've been locked in. So 8th grade, our brothers were in the same class. And so the next year he came to the school, it was like our brothers were seniors. He was a 7th grader that was rolling with the seniors. I was a 9th grader that was rolling with the seniors.
Nice.
So we all was always clicked up like that. Then we played ball together in high school, and then just been best friends ever since.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys tapped into, how you guys connected through hoops. Because I feel like, as a young man coming up in the inner cities, right, that's kind of where the relationships build. That's where they start. And then you find commonality in that, right? And then come full circle, right? You guys are now business partners in finance, kind of like very much the same between me and Perry. We bonded on fashion and then grew and built to something else. So that commonality and camaraderie from that ground level very is pillar to the success, as you build together, Yeah,
it was crazy. It was basketball. It was music. We were both Pisces. We both were like the youngest sibling in our family.
Nice.
And so there was a lot of that. And it was like, he's mild-mannered, right? Super reserved. And I'm like kind of outgoing. So it was kind of like a good yin and yang.
Yeah.
But yes, it's always been like that, man. I feel like we just had a mutual respect for each other and saw like commonality, like, wait, he's cool, but he's not too wild.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's kind of quiet, but he's smart as hell.
Yeah.
So we just kind of clicked.
That's like us. Like, it's like you guys are like the same people and we're like the same over here.
It's funny. So that's interesting how you guys connected. When you have a circle of friends, you have a community, obviously you kind of link up and you spend more time with one another. But I think, especially coming from our community, it's rare that someone in their youth decides that they're going to venture into learning about financial literacy, right? And so I think for many people who kind of make that journey, they don't often find a peer that they can take that journey with. Who was it that kind of brought this up? Was this something that you were both interested in at the same time and then you guys clicked there? Like, how did the interest in really making money outside of the traditional ways that were exposed to us come about?
Yes, I think it's a 2-part. You want to start?
I feel like, well, for me personally, I was always interested in business ever since I was a kid. Like, I never really had a dream or do anything in life except being an entrepreneur and a basketball player. That's the only 2 things I ever really wanted to be. And once I realized that, okay, I wasn't going to be able to be a professional basketball player and make the type of money that I wanted to make, then entrepreneur was the only other option. So, a lot of times people have dreams to work in the corporate world or, be a firefighter or a doctor. Like, I was just always fascinated with Wall Street investing, entrepreneurship, business. So I always had that forever. And then, reading.
Was it someone in your life that exposed you to that first? Or?
My dad was an entrepreneur.
Okay.
So that was something that was definitely an inspiration for sure. And then, just movies. I used to watch a lot of movies when I was a kid about like The Wolf of Wall Street.
Gordon Geckos and all that.
Yeah. I mean, The Wolf of Wall Street came a little later, but like the original Wall Street, actually. Like Wall Street, Barbarians at the Gate. Like all of these movies was like real inspirational to me because it was something that just seemed like really cool. See people in like, pinstripe suits and making a bunch of money, limousines, stuff like that. This is like 90s. So I always wanted to, go into Wall Street. I went to Wall Street when I was a kid just to kind of walk around and visit, and that was inspiring as well. So, you know, I was just like, all right, just gotta figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
So I was always on that pathway as far as just trying to figure out what type of business or what type of investment, stuff like that. And then, you know, we have other people in our circle that was always into entrepreneurship. Our other partner, Mike, he was an entrepreneur doing different things in like photography and DJ, stuff like that. So just our circle in general, it was a bunch of people like real estate. We was always talking about real estate and stuff like that. So I feel like it was just a common conversation. Like as soon as probably we got out of high school or, you know, into college, and definitely when we got out of college, like that was a conversation. That was my career. When I graduated college, I started as a financial advisor.
Oh, wow.
So that was my career path that I took. He was my first client. So I was talking to all my friends about life insurance and the importance of mutual funds and stuff like that. Like, you know, as far as trying to get them to become clients of mine, that was a conversation that I was having with everybody that I pretty much knew, friends and family. So that was a conversation that was, you know, so it wasn't too much like, I feel like out the blue, and it was just one thing that just changed everything. It was part of the fabric of the conversation for a variety of different aspects. And then it just got deeper into it. Social media comes, and that's when, you know, the idea of kind of working together and building a business and doing different things, like, you know, stuff like that, as far as like the online business and stuff like that. Like we had other ideas for a DJ app that didn't work out, then a fashion blog that didn't work out. So this is like the third thing that we tried.
It's always like that with entrepreneurship, right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
You have to like work out the kinks.
Yeah. Even thinking about the inception of Earn Your Leisure, what's funny is when I got exposed to you guys, the way people refer to you guys was like, have you heard of Earn Your Leisure? It wasn't like Troy and Rashad. Like you guys were a name. I was like, is Earn Your Leisure a person? It was very weird, like that you guys built a brand that was so powerful that it like transcended beyond just you guys as individual. And you guys were kind of like one, you were merged. There's almost like this one voice, which is something that you don't find pretty often when you think of people that share information or even content.
Yeah, I think it's for a long time, it's been very difficult to make financial literacy appealing to people.
Yeah.
And that's a great segue too, because I wanted to talk to you guys about the name, Earn Your Leisure. It's such a great brand, but really, admittedly, up until recently, it didn't really hit me. And then one day I'm watching, I'm like, Earn Your Leisure. This makes total sense. Right? It's like, yo, you literally have to do what you have to do today so you don't have to do that tomorrow.
Yes.
So how did you guys come up with the name?
That's crazy because I came up with the name for him.
Okay.
Yeah. So at the time I was teaching, and that's where my journey in financial education really comes from, is I had a summer program where kids were interning and they were going to make money. And I was like, damn, I'm teaching in the schools, and I'm like, yo, they don't teach them about anything about financial literacy. So I was like, let me treat these 6 weeks that I got with these kids like the 10 months of school that they missed. And so when I was thinking about it, I'm like, all right, we got to teach this. And I'm like, well, I mean, I don't really have the greatest knowledge of finance. I don't come from a financial background. Nobody in my parents don't come from finance. And he was starting his career. I'm like, yo, why don't we co-teach this thing? So that's when the working together thing starts.
Wow.
But I was big on like, yo, social media is not the real world. Like I would argue with him, like, yo, social media is not the real world. This is not it. So I'm thinking like, I want to scale this program, but I want to do it like satellites. I want to get it here, get it there, get it there. And he was like, nah, bro. Like he went all in on social media. And I'm like, all right. So when he was doing his own personal campaign for himself at the time, his brand, he's like, I need a hashtag. I never forgot. I walked in the gym, we were working out after school, and I was like, I got the hashtag, bro. I thought about it like for half a day. Like, you know what I mean? Like I couldn't wait to get to tell him. I'm like, yo, bro, I got it. He's like, what is it? I'm like, Earn Your Leisure. And he was like,
fire.
Nah, that's whack.
Oh, no.
I'm like, nah, you don't like that? You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, you don't like that? He's like, nah. I'm like, nah, it's perfect. Like, you know, people, we come from 914, so people think like the Silver Spoon kids. We never had to work hard for anything.
I grew up in Mount Vernon.
Super privileged. Yeah. Well, they don't even, like, that's, you know what I'm saying? So you understand it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, man, everything we've gotten, we've earned. Like, we had nice cars. You know, we were taking nice vacations. Like, everything we had, we earned. And I'm like, that's the hashtag. Like, that's got to be the hashtag. And so he started using it, and it was, like, synonymous with him. And then other people started using it with their travel. right? Like, they got the Jet2 holiday now.
Yeah.
It was like earn your leisure for a few months.
Yeah.
And then he stopped using it. And a friend of ours was like, yo, what happened to that? You should bring it back. And so we were sitting down one day when he was, he was doing this campaign of doing other people's shows. And they were like, yo, where's that show? Where's your show? Where's your podcast? We're kind of like, podcast? What's that? He's like, yo, let's create one. And so when we were coming up the names, he had a name, I had a name. It was like, all right, those are cool, but they're not going to work. They kind of alienate people. And we were like, no, just use Earn Your Leisure. It's the hashtag that you already had. Nobody used it. Let's trademark it. Let's run with it. It's like when I hear people, like their interpretation of it, it's dope. Because I'm like, wow, you just got it. But that's dope that you got it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That was the same for us when we started Risk Check Pod, right? We had Risk Check Wednesday. And we hashtagged it and spammed it to hell. And people were like,
we drove it in the ground.
They were like, yo, what's this Risk Check Wednesday thing about? Until Risk Check Pod comes out and then everybody goes, I get it. By that time, you've built that kind of cult following to where you can grasp.
Yeah, like a runway.
Yeah, you got the runway to just take off and, ride in the sunset.
Speaking of taking off, you guys have taken off. The brand is doing amazing things today. And you've been fortunate enough to reap the rewards of such hard work. We were delighted to discover that you guys like watches. And so I know you guys brought some stuff today.
Yeah, man.
I know what you got on the wrist. Rashad's keeping his role here a secret. So I kind of want to get into this first and see what we're dealing with.
Yeah, let's do that.
So let's pull this thing open real quick. So let me preface this with asking you guys, were you always into watches or was this something that kind of came about later on? Oh.
The reveal.
Respect.
Always into watches? I wouldn't say that I was always into watches. I would say that our third partner, Mike, he was always into watches.
Okay.
Like, I was like, yo, why do you even have a Rolex? Like, you know how much that costs? Why are you doing that? And he was like, nah, man, I'm telling you. He was in sales. Like, I'm a teacher, right? I'm like making $50,000 a year. And he was like, nah, when I go into the room, they respect me because I have this on. And I was like, yo, bro, nobody gonna treat you any different. Because I don't come from that world. And then as we started doing this, I was like, I get it. So he was a huge watch collector, always had Rolexes. I was like, all right, when we get to a certain threshold, I'm gonna go get me one.
What was that? I don't want to talk numbers. Your business is your business. But in terms of like over the journey of EYL, at what point was it like, okay, we're gonna do this?
For me, it was a threshold. There's a couple of things I said. If I made $1 million, I was gonna get a Rolex. I was gonna get these off-white 90s because they was just on my list. I'm like, they're super expensive. I got to make this much to even do it. So like, I just started putting metrics. It started out like, yo, if you made 100,000, if you made 200, if you made 500, if you make it, go do it. So those were kind of like those thresholds in my head that I was telling myself, you can't do it until then.
Yeah, I feel like watches, I was always into watches, but obviously like, what you appreciate changes. Like I remember I had a Techno Marine.
Yeah.
Yo, we grew up on those.
A yellow band, a Techno Marine. I think I might have had a black one too, something. So it was like, stuff like that at the time. That was like a big deal. Like I mean, like, so it was always a thing. But just young, you don't really understand. I didn't understand watches. I was just seeing whatever a rapper would do, whatever was affordable.
Yeah.
Then that's what I was doing. And then, like I said, once you get into business and you have a little bit more elevated conversations and you have more of appreciation, but wasn't like a watch connoisseur my whole life, and as far as the first thing for me, that we're gonna talk about these watches?
Yeah.
All right, so that this watch right here, the gold one.
The president.
So that was the first one that I got.
I figured because I feel like once you make it,
so that one,
you're like, I'm getting a present.
There's a good story behind this watch.
That one right there was when I had $1 million liquid. You know what I mean? Like that's always an accomplishment as far as growing up.
Yeah.
You always hear like $1 million is like a benchmark. So once I had $1 million liquid, that was the first thing that I did was buy that. And then when I was buying that watch, I actually was a little hesitant. I wasn't sure if it was like too much as far as flash, like it got the diamonds in it. So I was going to get the regular plain Jane. So I was kind of like, torn between the plain Jane one and the diamond one. The diamond one, I don't even know if they had the plain Jane in stock.
They have it.
They didn't have the plain Jane in stock.
Nope.
So it was like the diamond one was the only one that they had in stock. at that time. So that's the
So
one.
here's the crazy part. I had this watch on.
Okay.
And in my mind, I was thinking the same thing. Right? But the whole time, I was like, when I get it, I want to have a white face. And so I was like, nah. And the links, I needed an extra link.
Okay.
His wrist is smaller than mine.
Yeah.
So I literally have the picture when he got that watch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I'm like, yo, that joint's fire. And I'm watching him like thinking about it. He's like, yo, you think it's too gaudy? I'm like, nah, it's perfect.
It's a president.
Nah,
it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that was probably like right around Christmas, right?
Right.
Well,
Like end of the year.
Yep.
How did it feel when you first, because I think when someone kind of first gets their first luxury watch, it's great to be in a position where you can say, hey, like I can do this, but it's still kind of like, yo, this is a lot of money for a watch.
Yeah.
What did it feel like?
I mean, honestly, because I waited, so I had $1 million already. So
You felt good.
It was a lot of money, but it wasn't something like I ain't really look at it. I ain't think about it from that standpoint. It was just a thing, like, you know, it's like the Nip song, like it was like my presidential. I wear it every day.
Yeah.
It symbolizes enterprises. Like it was just like a trophy. You know what I mean? More of anything, it's just like a benchmark as far as like an accomplishment.
It was an accomplishment.
Yeah, celebratory moment. And like I said, I don't really spend money on stuff too much. So it wasn't like I was just blowing money on everything. Like, I mean, like it was, you know, so that was something that was like, all right, you got to treat yourself every once in a while.
Yeah.
And, you know, looking at it from a standpoint of, it's not like the money is lost. It's just the value is in something else.
Especially with Rolex, I think that's like one of the great things about it. It retains so
much. But
that's
that hasn't actually been true, because some of these Rolexes have fallen in value. I have a Sky Dweller, gold with the black face, and I think I paid like $50 for it. And now I got it appraised. I went to the Rolex store. It was like $32,000, something like that. Like, so that theory,
it depends on the model.
That's what I was going to tap into.
So with precious metal pieces, unfortunately, they tend to fall a lot quicker. They'll go anywhere from, I mean, in some cases, it's usually anywhere from 15 to 20%, but now it's like 30 in this market.
Yeah.
But it depends on the model, because then you have like the Daytona.
That's what I was going to.
This is a perfect example of like a watch, not only sometimes retaining its value, but appreciating.
Yeah. And even like they told me, even like, you know, over the course of time that, you know, a watch can come back up. But I feel like during the pandemic, it was limited.
Oh, it was crazy.
So prices went up, but a lot of prices have gone down, even the APs. A lot of the APs went down. The Royal Oak didn't, the 20th, I think, edition anniversary didn't really do what it was supposed to do. So it kind of knocked the value of the whole line down a little bit. So yeah, that's one of these things. Like, you know, the watch it can definitely go down in value for sure.
It can. Nah, absolutely. You have a president as well.
Yeah.
You have two of them, as a matter of fact. I think
Oh,
one of them was your first.
Oh, we bringing these out?
Yeah.
I thought it was Shotty's turn. All right.
We'll go back and forth, mix it up a little bit. So much of like our culture, like it's you know, hip hop is obviously like influenced our lives, right? And I think for many of us, like the lowest hanging fruit is obviously like a presidential Rolex, just because of what it represents. But I'm curious what it represented for you.
Yeah, it was definitely the trophy.
Yeah.
So again, I was with him when he got that watch, and so they were like, "Oh, they'll come back in stock next week," and it was like, "I'm gonna be out of town next week. We got to do an interview." And he was like, "Yo, if you can't be here, then we're gonna have to sell it."
This was during the pandemic.
This is during the pandemic.
Yeah, that's why.
So I'm like, damn. So it did get there. I was out of town, and they did sell it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, I have no Rolex. I'm like, everybody got one. Again, I wanted the white face. I was being super stingent about that. And then shout out to my brother, MG. It might have been him or my wife. We were in Miami. We were doing an interview with Master P.
Oh, okay. I remember.
Yeah. We were doing a Master P interview. And she called me like, yo, I'm in the Rolex store right now. They have a presidential, but it's blackface. I'm like, all right, let me see it. I saw it. I'm like, I'm coming to get it.
Yeah.
And so they were like,
that's the Onyx dial, right?
Yeah, that one's not the Onyx dial.
That's the pave.
Yeah, that's the pave face.
But this is the black dial here.
So this was the first one that you're referring to.
Yeah, the Onyx face was my first one. And I remember getting that. I think we had a business card at the time, but the business card, I didn't know the limit on it. So I tried to swipe it. It was like, eh. I was like, all right, well, this is why your parents come in handy. So my mom made me an authorized user on American Express like 20 years ago. So I was like, yo, I don't think there's a limit on that joint. So I swiped it. went through.
Bing.
I was like, bing. Yo, no joke. My mom
Bing.
calls me. She was like, yo, I just got a call from American Express. I'm like, about what? She was like, there's a $56,000 charge. I was like, oh, don't worry about that. We got it covered. She was like, you sure? I'm like, I got it covered. They were like, I bet. I got that watch, bro. I was
Shout out
like,
the moms.
Yeah, I was like, bad. Yo, we back. We good. It was like that trophy moment.
Was dope too about the two presidents that you have,
Yeah.
you know, hanging on to the black dial with the baguettes and then the diamond bezel. I like the fact, like I said, that you guys aren't afraid of stones.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And then because you guys understand, you know, finances, you know that this may not be an appreciating asset, but it's still something where you can look at, all right, it is gold, it's precious metal. There's some like intrinsic value there beyond the provenance of the name.
Okay.
So a question that I have for you guys is kind of like a two-part question. A, do you look at watches as an investment? And then B, if you do you bring other people into the hobby to invest?
I think, yeah. I think when we because it started with that and then it turned into more. And then we started, there definitely during the pandemic, started to see them appreciate. So I remember downloading the Chrono 24 app.
Oh, yeah.
And every time I bought a watch, I put it in there. You know what I'm saying?
It's nice to watch
Yeah,
the value.
I watched it. I'm like, yo, I got this watch. I had a Daytona at the time. It was actually the white gold of that version. And I bought it for like 33. And like it had gone up like 120%.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this is crazy. So like, as we're doing these things, that we're making these purchases, we're also educating people like, yo, this could be an asset that, number one, you can insure, but you could also sell. Like a lot of times you buy jewelry and it's like, well, it's custom. Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants it.
And when we heard Jay say those ain't Rolex diamonds, what the f you done to that? We understood like, no, they better be Rolex diamonds because that makes the resale value on it. If I do anything to that watch to customize it, it depreciates
significantly.
And so we understood that. So now it became, oh, these are not just timepieces. This is also investments.
It's incredible. You have a Daytona here, Rashad. This is actually one of the more difficult Rolex watches to get. I know many collectors that covet this watch. This is the rose gold. And I think Rolex does one of the best rose golds too. They call it Ever Rose. It's their proprietary metal.
Yep.
This thing is sick. And I saw there was a picture you wore it at InvestFest.
Yeah.
I want to ask you too, because I know you're a fashion guy. Like we had this conversation with Mark Hami a few days ago. He was talking about like watches kind of throw him all the way off because he's like, I got to build my outfit around the watch. What's your approach to like styling a watch? Do you even think about it in that way? Or?
No. The watch is a compliment to the outfit. So the outfit is the most important aspect of it. And then the shoes come. Sometimes the shoes might come first, but most of the time it's like I'm gonna wear the outfit, then I'll match the shoes, and then a watch. That's why I try to have watches in like at least like the core colors. The rose gold is like a play on red, gold.
You got options.
Yeah. You know, like a silver color. So you can just kind of match it up. But I don't really match outfits around my watch. It's more of like the watch around the outfit.
Got you. And how did this one fall into the collection?
That was one he actually got a call for. And I think he had something similar to that already.
Yeah.
So he didn't want it. But I have been wanting the Daytona for a long time. I actually still do want a gold on gold Daytona. I like Daytona. Daytona is probably my favorite Rolex watch. I just like the way it looks. I like the face of it. I like, you know, those three circles in the side of it. Like I just feel like Daytona is just a good looking watch. So I needed a rose gold watch. I needed a black watch. So that kind of fit three criteria that I was looking for as far as the rose gold, the black. I was actually looking for like a gold, but the rose gold is very similar to that gold. And over the course of time, it actually looks more and more like gold.
Yeah.
So you can wear the rose gold with like a red vibe or a traditional gold vibe. Like I could wear a gold bracelet with the rose gold and it doesn't look, you know, too far off. It doesn't look off at all. So yeah. That was something like the Daytona. Like I said, I like Daytonas. I think that it's not too big. It's, you know, the face is a good size. It's just, it plays like very well in a variety of different situations.
With that actually. I think the Daytona case shape and size is the current model in their catalog that is close to the specs of the vintage Daytonas. And it's part of the reason why I like the Daytona. They just wear so well. Like the size is well proportioned. You get another watch here, and I'm somewhat familiar with this brand, and I love that this is here. This is a Caveman watch. This is a black-owned watch brand.
Yes.
What's the story with this one, and how did you get this?
So Caveman, they're from Ghana. We spent a lot of time in Ghana, Accra. So when I went to Ghana, probably like last year, and so Chocolate, he's a designer. In InvestFest, I wore two of the outfits that I wore was from Chocolate. He's a big time designer out there, so we connected with him. Okay. We went to his store, and Caveman, the guys that own the company, they have a store in Ghana as well. They have a store in Accra. So, they kind of saw that we was in the watches. So they made me a watch, and I like it because it's customized. You see my name.
Yeah, your name's on the dial.
My name is on it. And, we just had a good conversation. They were just saying, like, as far as whenever you think about luxury, it's always a European standard as far as like Swiss craftsmanship and all that. But they're like, this is African luxury. This is African craftsmanship. And it's not compromised as far as, the workings of it, the mechanics of it and everything. Like, it's the best of the best, but it doesn't necessarily have to come from Europe. Right. It can come from Africa. Right. So that was important to highlight them because.
And it says made in Ghana on the back too.
Yeah.
So that's dope.
Yeah. So, definitely going to highlight them. Once again, they customized the watch. So that was dope. But also like they have good quality. Like, I feel like a lot of times.
It's a complicated timepiece. It's got a moon phase at the top. Right? This is pretty dope.
Yeah, they doing anything. And they put they made a watch for Beyonce.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
And they put butterfly, bees. They put wings from bees.
That's crazy.
That's
sick.
That's fire.
Yeah. So they take their time with it. They do a good job. So, definitely gotta shout the bros out.
As you talk about European culture, right? Something I ain't gonna let slide. You guys casually say you got a call for a Daytona. That doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
Does not happen often. So I'm not letting you guys slide with that. Obviously, you guys are a brand and, you're well off so they know that you won't sell these watches. But can you speak to like what your thoughts are on the AD game, right? Because for, Troy and Rashad, you can walk into any showroom and you can say, hey, I want this watch, and they'll sell it to you. Average Joe cannot walk into a store, whether he has the money or not, and they can't buy the watch. So what do you guys think of the AD game?
I think it's whack.
Sums it up about right.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
I haven't really bought a watch in a while. That's one of the reasons. Is just I ain't really, I really don't like the politics of it.
Yeah,
you got to go have meetings with people and buy a watch that you don't really want to establish the history and kind of like it's just stush as far as how they treat the situation. I feel like if you want the watch, you got the watch, you pay for it. Like just give me the watch. So yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. Like I'm not into anything that has that level of like hierarchy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't really, I'm not into that. Like I'm not into that hierarchy system, and I think that's definitely turning people off. Like, I guess it's a psychological play. It makes it feel like it's so exclusive and you want things that you can't get. So, but me personally, it's not that serious. Like, I don't really want to have to chase somebody down for 18 months for a watch.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it.
Filthy work.
It is. It's one of the few industries where the customer is not always right. And I think that it's soured a lot of people's experiences with watch collecting.
Put your name on the list and hopefully you get called.
And that's why people go to jewelers because they want to skip the process. Even like it's a lot of rappers. Yeah, they don't really want. They don't have time to go through all of that. They don't want to go through all of that. So they'll go to a jeweler, and that could lead to problems. You don't know what you're buying, but they would rather it's easier.
Yeah, it is.
To just say I have money, you have the product. I'm going to pay you for the product. Give me the product and let's go.
Yeah. I got to give credit. It is whack. I'll give credit to our AD, who's got us a lot of pieces. Pop, shout out to Poppy. She always sends them. So like, even there's other ones that I still stay in contact with her because she's always sending me options. Like I'll send him some options. Like, yo, there's like 3 or 4 that he was like, nah, I'm good. It was just like on that one, he was like, nah, let's get that one. If you get a good person, you're in a good space, but that doesn't always translate, right? So if I want Rolexes, it's great, But if I want an AP, it doesn't really help me.
No.
Right. So like, it's a filthy game, and it isn't even about how much money you make.
Not at all.
It's really a selective process if they want to do business with you.
Yep.
They're selecting their clients.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's filthy.
But it's also corrupt too, because I had another store that I was getting watches from. I developed a pretty good history with them. And the girl that was working there, she's not working there anymore. Long story short, she told me something so I had like 5 watches that I got from there. So my clout with that store was pretty good.
Yeah.
So like a green face Sky Dweller was on my account, but I never brought a green face Sky Dweller. So another person that was working in the store, they used my record to give it to somebody else to get them that watch.
Yep.
I mean, it's beneficial kind of for me because it does add, but then it's also hurtful for me as well because it's like, that's another thing. You can't buy too many watches over the course of time, stuff like that. So they do little backhand tricks like that without you even knowing. So that, it's I'm not really into it at all.
That's a real thing. I've seen those tricks before, and then it's like it ruins the allocation process.
Yeah, exactly.
You either can't get that watch, or if it's like a watch that's like heavily desired, and you ask for another one that is desired as equally, well, you just got this. It's like,
you gotta wait.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I really wanted to ask that question because I felt like you guys are the perfect two to answer to that, because in our space, it's a different demographic that we're speaking to. Their level of exposure or maybe their entitlement doesn't really give them that lens. There aren't many people that look like us that even, enjoy this hobby at this high of a level. So for you guys to speak to it, I think is important for any new listeners as well to really understand that it is a game.
It is a game.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
For sure.
You got another watch I want to get into because we talked about it a little bit off camera, and it's also an AP. There was some inspiration behind this piece. I'm curious what that is.
Yeah, so everybody knows I'm a huge Jay-Z fan. Like I said, like the Rolex Diamonds piece. But I got an AP, so I had a Royal Oak prior to this. And I put this on my list of wish lists, like they ask you which ones. This is the Royal Oak AP with the alligator strap.
Yep.
So it go back to Jay when he, that line, he's like, damn, ho, why you gave him that? The
Audemars Piguet with the alligator strap. Blueprint 2, show you how to do this, son.
Yeah. So I was like, I gotta have it. Yeah. I gotta get it. And so this rose gold, again, obviously I had a lot of gold pieces, but when I saw this, I'm like, damn, this one is really good. I liked it so much, I bought a pair of cufflinks to go with this.
Oh, yeah, I know the cufflinks that go with that. That's fine.
Yeah, I bought the cufflinks. And so, this is one of my favorites. They haven't called me back. Shout out to everybody at AP, but they haven't called me back since I got this. So, I mean, if you hear this, please hit me back. Yeah, this is one of my favorites, though.
That's a sweet piece. And I'm glad that you brought up that moment. That was such a, that's one of the biggest moments that people reference going back to. That was a huge moment for AP as a brand. Jay really launched that brand.
If you look at the timeline.
100%.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's crazy. And that song, I don't know if people realize like how impactful and how serious that song is. Because what I love about Jay's career is it's all autobiographical. Right? And so in that particular song, you have this guy who's moving into a different space, financially, but also socially. Right? And he's moving into spaces where he's hanging out with people who aren't in entertainment, but this is what they're doing.
Yeah.
And he's having those conversations, and he's taking you from rap to the boardroom. Because after that, he retired. Well, retired.
First retirement.
Yeah.
They tried to switch the band on this for me. They were like, look, we can get you the rose gold solid band. And I'm like, nah, it's gotta be the alligator.
Nah, that was a good choice.
It's gotta be the alligator.
That was a good decision.
Yeah, well, that rose gold bracelet is another 20, 30,000.
Yeah.
that's how they tried to
Facts. That's how they get you.
Don't worry about it.
It's called upsell.
Listen, we know you got it.
Like, I already got the cufflinks, man.
That's awesome. I want to talk to you guys about InvestFest. This is something that you guys have built from the ground up, an incredible feat that you guys have accomplished. You just come off of the 5th one. I read it was 25,000 people in attendance daily. So you had 75,000 people over the course of this event. This is huge. I don't know of anything like this where you bring finance and culture into the same room, but not just there, right? There's also a lot of opportunities for young entrepreneurs or people who are interested in getting into the financial game, investing, or even launching their own business, there's a ton of resources that are available during the course of this event. Where did the idea for InvestFest come from, and what's it been like kind of scaling it up over the last five years? Well, I think it's been longer because there was 1 year, I think COVID, you guys weren't able.
No, it's fine. We did every year.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, we did every year
Since 21 years.
I mean, the idea just comes from watching the space, seeing conferences and symposiums and different things of that nature. And at that time, it was like, all right, we was already real hot as far as our show is concerned and different things we were doing. So it's like we need like a staple. People can really like, okay, this is the crown jewel in the situation. So wanted to just see how we could be different from what was already being done.
Right.
So, I just had an idea for a festival. The word festival was important because I feel like just looking at it, like, okay, like I said, symposium, conference, seminar, all of those have been done. I had never heard at that time of a business festival. So I'm like, okay, that's the way we can be different, is to have a festival.
Yeah.
And then you start to say, okay, like, well, what can make it a festival? And it's like, okay, food trucks. Then we can, have a bunch of vendors, like how Essence Festival has. And we can have like musical performances, like we can have, the stages, like how you go to Rolling Loud and you see like, okay, you got a huge stage and you got a stage that's a little bit smaller, but they're going simultaneously at the same time. So that was like an idea of like, okay, let's have that type of model in place where we have multiple stages, big stages, not like small breakout rooms happening simultaneously, give people an option to go where they want to go. Even like the marketing of it, like the flyer done in a graphic design that looks like a musical festival with the people's names. Yeah, everything was just done in that music festival type of vibe, but wanted to do it around business, investing, and entrepreneurship. So that was the idea of InvestFest. That was the idea, like a big thing, a lot of speakers, a lot of people involved. Started it 5 years ago, and it's grown every year since. In that period of time, it's become one of the biggest events in the world when it comes to business. And we have a lot of corporations that take part in it now, and we have headliners: Magic Johnson, Tyler Perry, 50 Cent was last year. So every year it's become like a thing of like who's going to be the headline speaker, right. And then we have like a podcast stage that people do podcasts, and then we have the vendor marketplace, and we have activations. This year we had a fashion show, and then we have it's just become a thing. It's become a thing. Like people do side events off of it now, dinners throughout the course of the weekend, and we had a comedy show to kick off InvestFest this year with 85 South. So it's just become a cultural moment. It's been in Atlanta every year, so that's become part of the fabric of the city. People. Really
Why was it important to do it in Atlanta?
Time was the only place to really do it because COVID was still going on. So a lot of places like New York was shut down. Sure. Still, you couldn't have like you could do like small events, but not a large event. And Atlanta was a place we was already connected to, spent a lot of time in capital of Black business, right. All the entrepreneurs, we got a lot of relationships. The convention center was perfect as far as the layout, how the convention center is laid out in Atlanta. So a few different variables, but it kind of was like the easiest place to actually get it done.
That's tight.
Yeah.
Speaking of cultural moments, especially in InvestFest, I think one of my favorite moments was the tribute to Nipsey. That one was huge. I always say this, like the elephant in the room is like, we're Black, sure, fine. Like you have Black men talking about watches, you have Black men talking about finances. But when you have, the qualifications to speak on them, it becomes much larger than that. Simultaneously, you make sure that culture is in the forefront. How important was it to pay homage to someone that was so big in our culture and our community?
It was vital. Shadi says this all the time, like, we didn't have to try to bring the culture. We are culture.
Exactly.
Like, we grew up in it. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when we wrote down a list, before we even had a guest, we were like, these are the people we want to interview. And Nip was like right at the top. And a few weeks later, we lost him. He was murdered. But we were able to connect with his team and his family. And so that became important to us. Like, we went to Crenshaw and we sat with them. We sat with Sam and we sat with Hoggy. We sat with Pat. And we got a feeling of what he meant to them. And so it felt like his aura was there.
Right.
And so he had reached out to Sam like, yo, we have this idea. We want to give back to entrepreneurs. And all they kept saying is like, yo, bro would have loved y'all. Bro would have loved y'all, right? Like the mission that y'all own, it feels like this is the continuation of what, he had envisioned for our community. And so we wanted to make sure that we can honor him in the right way, make sure that the family was involved, and make sure that we were giving it to entrepreneurs that had that type of hustle and that grit and that wherewithal to keep the marathon going inside their business. So that was definitely a special moment, man. In fact, during that pitch competition, if you remember, there was an entrepreneur who brought out the wax figure.
Yeah.
It was ill.
Crazy.
Yeah.
We had no idea.
Wow.
Yo, we had no idea.
Real hair follicles and
We
everything.
had no idea. So Sam's sitting next to me, and we're watching this happen, and I'm looking at him, and he's just like taken back by it all. Because we had no idea this was happening. And I looked at him, he was like, damn, that's crazy. Like he kind of like sat there for a second, thought about it, and then he kind of like got up to look at it and was like, yo, that's really, really amazing. But the ovation that got, it told you how much people really loved this man and the mission that he was on. So the fact that he was there, his dad was there backstage, his kids were backstage, Lauren obviously was a guest at InvestFest. It felt like a perfect moment, man. So anytime we get to highlight our culture, because a lot of people don't, right? Like we're gonna make sure that we do that. It's super important.
And then also to play off that too is the backstory, because all right, we lost Nip, and that was a big thing. Like, as far as we had a lot of inspiration, drew a lot of inspiration from Nip. But after that, it was like, damn, like, I want to have a conversation with Black Sam. And at that time, like, Black Sam doesn't talk.
No,
He's starting to speak a little bit now. He did the Big Boy interview. But at that time, it was like the idea of speaking to Black Sam was like not even possible. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we have a mutual friend who's a real estate developer, Dave Gross. And I had reached out to him before, like, yo, you think we can get a Black Sam interview? And he was, I don't know, bro. Like that's a tall task. Like a year and a half, 2 years. And I reached back out and he was like, you know what, man? Like, I kind of pitched it like it wasn't going to be a Black Sam interview. We wanted to do an all money in interview. And we wanted to interview all of the guys and highlight what they had going on and stuff like that. So he was like, yeah, that makes a little bit more sense as far as like, let me see. So he reached out and they agreed to do it. And that interview went viral. And it was 4 people that we interviewed. We interviewed Black Sam, Kabi, Hoggy, and Pac-Man. We did each one on a different location. But from there, we just developed a really good relationship with all of them. And especially like Sam was somebody that like I personally stay in contact with. So when we was doing InvestFest, once again, I mean, it's difficult to get him in front of a camera, period. But then it's probably even more difficult to get him to speak at an event. I mean, that kind of goes against, he's not even that type of person. So I was like, how does this make sense?
Right.
Pitch competition, right? That makes sense. And then Nip, and we can't put Nip's name if his family don't bless it. So we had lunch with him and Adam.
Shout out to Adam.
And JP. Yep. And the lunch, pitched it to him at lunch. And it was like, I wasn't really sure how he was going to take it. But he was like, yeah, no, I like it. That sound good. So not only did they come to InvestFest, they actually had the activation at InvestFest too. So they brought the truck, the armored truck.
Oh,
yeah.
They brought the armored truck and they were selling the merchandise. And then Lauren London came, unrelated to that.
Yeah, completely unrelated.
But she was there. So that was dope because she wasn't on stage when we did that, but she was backstage when that happened. She came on stage after them for her panel. So we had Lauren London there. And then the All Money In guys, they came just on their own.
They surprised us on
stage. So that was a dope moment for us, like full circle moment as far as Nip's legacy. I think it really got, highlighted. But definitely got to give a big shout out to Sam.
And Kabi too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Kabi was integral in that.
Yeah, and like so now every time we go to LA, we link with them like Marathon Burger.
Yeah. Just open that up.
Yeah, shout out to Jay Stone too. He was part of that. But we actually did an interview with him later on. So he was supposed to be part of that original interview. But we just scheduling, which is kind of like tough for everybody. But we ended up shooting the episode with him, which is really dope too.
Yeah.
So the whole family. So like you said, like it was one of these things like he meant so much to us, and we wanted to show them how much he meant, and how everybody received it. Man, it was dope.
It's truly a testament to who he was as a man that this thing gets to continue. His legacy lives on through his friends, his family, but also there's a shared spirit between Nipsey and what you guys stand for. You know,
100%.
the fact that like you built this from the ground up, you know, I think even going back to using InvestFest as an example, like I've sat with people who have tried to do festivals. It's impossible task. So to actually get to the point where not only you can launch one, but have it consecutively 5 years in a row and scale it and watch it grow and people come, that is amazing.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thinking of the guests that you guys have had, and I think about like, if you guys ever get in those moments of like, I did that. And one of the favorite episodes that I watched that you guys did was with Jaylen Brown. The reason why is because you guys highlighted how this guy was able to leverage not only his skill set, but his business acumen to, you know, obtain one of the largest contracts at that time in NBA history. I wanted to ask, who's been your favorite guest? So it's a two-part. Who's been your favorite guest? For us, right, as a kickback, because I like to ask, if there was a guest that you'd want to have, I'd love to help you guys get them and vice versa. So if there's anybody you guys like, because I would love for you guys to sit down with Larry June, because he's one of the illest cats in hip hop talking about finances, getting your credit right. Because you know credit be jacked up, dog.
He's honest though. He'd be like, man, I shouldn't have bought that watch. But
he's dope. Nah, he's dope. He's dope.
Yeah.
We booked close. We had it scheduled and then again scheduling, but you know, he's been on our radar. That's dope. Yeah,
Nice.
He'd love to do that.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I actually recently tapped into Larry June probably a couple months ago. I just started going down a rabbit hole.
yeah, it's so easy.
Yeah. I'm like, nah, this dude is spin. He going crazy.
I never knew who he was until somebody was like, they thought I was him.
That's funny.
I was like, who? And then I looked and we had sunglasses on. I'm like, all right, okay, black man beard. Okay, I get it. Got it.
Yeah, Larry June goes.
No, he's dope,
he got out with 2 Chainz. That's tough too. 2 Chainz gave us a shout out on that.
I heard that. Yeah, that was crazy.
That's
You guys are impacting the culture.
For sure.
Appreciate that, man.
Do you guys have a favorite guest?
Yeah, my favorite guest. I mean, I got different favorites for different reasons. Like as far as like entertainment value is concerned, I feel like Chris Gotti. That was one that was very entertaining. He was telling stories, and it was just very intriguing to like follow his journey. Talking about Jay Prince and a bunch of stuff. We had a restaurant owner, Derek Falcon, who came early, changed everything for us. That was something that like
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think we sharing that one. Just because when Derek came, it was me and him. Like we had done 2 episodes probably with a guest, and we kind of did an interview, and we just kept our format where we would like tell backstories and then include them in a case study. And then he came and just like flamed my whole living room. He like told the entire business down to P&Ls and how to scale. And we were like, oh, that's a new format. Like, what he just did, that is now what Earn Your Leisure is going to be. So that's probably the most important, I feel like, episode is different from my favorite episode. I think the most important episode for us was the Steve Harvey episode.
Yeah.
Just because of when we did it, the conversation prior to starting the interview, the actual interview that everyone saw, then the conversation post was like, he was really like, I love you guys. How can we do business together? Wow. And we walked out. I'll tell a story. Like when we walked out of his cigar room, because he has not even a house, the cigar room.
Sure.
The feeling was just like, I think we both experienced it at the same time, pause. And I was like, yo, our life's not gonna be the same anymore.
That's crazy.
I was like, everything's about to change. Like everything's about this episode, everything's about to change.
Wow. That's dope.
Is there anybody you guys believe we should speak to?
I would love if y'all sat with Fat Joe.
Yeah, so it's funny. We had Mayor on like a couple years ago. Mayor's a big collector. He's a friend of ours. We've been trying to get Joe on for a while. Yeah. He did Nori's show, which hasn't aired yet. I'm on Nori's show.
What's Nori's show?
Nori has a watch show.
A watch show, right? Yeah.
Okay. So I shot with him. I know Joe shot with him. Yeah. I don't know when it's coming out, but shout out to Nori when it does. I'd love to see it. Yes. But no, that would be huge. Especially, I'm originally from the Bronx. Oh, yeah. So for me to sit down with Fat Joe, like I would love that. You know, I grew up listening to him and the whole Terror Squad and Big Pun back when they were on Loud Records, RCA, like all that stuff. Like, that's what we used to bump. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And his watch game is ridiculous.
Because he's got the plug though. He's got Mayer and then our friend over at London Jewelers.
Yeah.
He's got the plug, but he's a
Yeah.
big Rolex guy. He's got some heavy pieces.
That rainbow Daytona is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's got the rainbow. He also has the puzzle dial Day-Date now.
Yep.
I saw
which
that.
is crazy.
Saw that.
Yep.
That was limited. Like the
Super-
first, I think Tom Brady had it.
Yeah,
I
like
was like, good luck finding it.
99.9% of people that want that watch will never be able to even see one in their lifetime. It's so limited. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But he got it. Shout out to Joe. Yeah, we need Joe on here.
Yeah.
That would be a dope.
Damn
one.
sure do.
One of the best storytellers in
Yo,
this
the
space.
best. The Cat King.
Yo, the Cap King stories are great because like somebody tells a little bit of the truth in the story.
Yes.
Yeah. Yo, they end up being true. That's why I'm like, yo, this guy is incredible. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That would be a dope one.
I want to ask, just kind of rounding things out, you guys have had an amazing career thus far. And it's been incredible to watch your rise. It's inspiring. I know for us in the room, but also we have people who have been on our show and who are fans of our show that watch you guys as well. What is next for Earn Your Leisure? And then what is something that you guys haven't accomplished yet that you're looking forward to accomplishing?
I think next is just, continuing to spread the brand globally. Africa, we've been spending a lot of time on the continent. We've been going to different countries all the time. Every time that we go there, we go to different countries and making different relationships. So I feel like that's something that, we're just planting seeds right now. And, you just got to be patient with that. But that's something that I feel like, we could really hit a home run out there. So that's really, like, for me personally, at least, that's what I'm more focused on than anything. It's like, just seeing how we can just expand territory, different relationships globally. Like I said, specifically in Africa, that's been the majority of our focus. So we got a real estate project in Ghana that we're working on. And, hopefully you'll see more of that type of, collaboration, businesses, projects, real estate, mining, all types of stuff. So there's opportunities out there for sure. Mm-hmm. So just trying to figure out, how we can best add value and connect with the entrepreneurs and the resources and governments that's already there. But definitely can expect to see us more in Africa and doing more things, more business, more opportunities for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, the answer is more. Yeah, I mean, definitely, helping shape a new narrative for the continent. I think it's important to us. I think one of the other focuses is definitely where the root of all it started in education. And so having curriculum right now inside of 18 high schools in the Bronx is cool, but that's just one borough and that might be one district. And so how do we figure out how to scale that into making it something that's citywide, countywide, statewide, federal? Right? Yeah. Because the missing piece is like everybody says the same thing as they get older. I wish I would have known that when I was younger. Mm-hmm. I wish I would have knew about credit. I wish I knew about taxes. Well, we don't have to wish, right? We're creating curriculum and hopefully, it becomes something that's mandated that you have to have it before you graduate. Like home ec is cool and technology is cool. And I was a phys ed teacher. Those things are important and math and science, those are important. But like financial education is equally, if not even more important, right? Because we've got to live somewhere. We're all going to pay taxes. We all got to figure out how to make money and survive. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that initiative is something that really takes on this year and in the next couple of years. And it's something that we look back and saying, wow, this was a benchmark moment that changed everything for us.
That's incredible. It's huge. Troy, Rashad, I want to say thank you for joining us this afternoon.
I appreciate y'all, man.
Thank you.
Man, this has been amazing. And, just following your success and the trajectory, I know oftentimes people see where you are and where you're going. They don't realize what happens when the cameras are off. I can tell how hard you guys work by the success that you've had. And it's all well-deserved, and I wish you guys many more watches.
That's right. What's your favorite timepiece?
Oof, that's a good question. My favorite, so my grail, one day hope to own FP Journe Resonance. I like dual time watches that can tell multiple time zones. That's a very particular timepiece that achieves that, but it also regulates itself inside the watch via frequency. It's like really nerdy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And it's like super accurate, but it's also like ridiculously expensive. Yeah.
Dang. I'd have to go with a Swiss German brand called Uhrwerk.
Love Uhrwerk, yeah.
Uhrwerk, they introduced a watch called the UR230.
The Eagle.
Nicknamed the Eagle. Yeah. Famously worn by Tony Stark, right?
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. It's one of those watches where you just feel real luxury. Like you slide it on.
It's a different kind of luxury though. It's like luxury. It's like art and engineering.
Exactly.
It looks like something out of the future. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You throw that on and then like a Iron Man.
You feel like
suit
Iron
comes
Man.
on. Yeah.
All right. What? This is my last question.
Okay.
Sure.
What's your next timepiece?
My next?
Yeah.
God.
Because I know y'all got one. There's one that you were like, yo, just put that on hold. I'm coming back for that.
You go first.
I want to go first because we on camera, so I got to be held accountable.
Sure.
So I'm a vintage guy.
Mhm.
I mainly collect vintage watches. So I would go with an early 2010s Longanzona up down.
Sure. That's your next watch.
Well,
Let me find something out.
listen, I might have to tap a couple pockets,
Okay.
but I do want a Longanzona. I do collect mostly Swiss watches, but I do want to step into German and maybe Japanese. So I think that watch right there might crack the seal for me to get into other manufacturers.
Yeah.
So I'd go with a longer up down from like the early 2000s, 2010s.
Y'all heard it.
You heard it.
Yeah, you got to hold me accountable.
Wow. I mean, I'll put this out there so that maybe some extra things happen, and then, get it in the ether. But I would like a Debethune DB28. If that's something that I revisit a few times this year, and we know some friends who just got a custom one, so I would definitely like one of those.
Yeah, that's a nice piece.
Yeah.
Well done.
Doing our best.
Yes.
This has been another episode, Risk Check Podcast. You guys know where to find us, riskcheckpod.com, superniche.com. And we'll see you next week. Deuces.
Peace.